everyone. We are now into early September. You see all the trees are turning colors. We're getting ready for winter. The goldenrod is out in full bloom. And today is one of the last hot days of the year. It's currently 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And right now we're driving down this long ATV trail. It's nice and flat, used to be railroad tracks. Driving down here today to do a camp. We're gonna hike down a river with backpacks, set up a tent somewhere alongside the river, camp overnight. Should be pretty fun. The ATV trails are in pretty good shape for the most part. Having no problems going down here with the truck. I just saw a squirrel up there run across the road. We're about to drive through a swamp. I was down here yesterday scouting out the area, and we found actually a really cool spot along the river. It's an area that you can tell floods pretty badly, maybe in the spring thaw, but this time of year it's been dry out, it's really hot. There's a lot of flat rock around the riverbank showing. Pretty cool area. Right here is an area of the road that is flooded because of beavers. Look at that. Beavers did this. You can tell this whole area of the road was underwater, but it hasn't been raining. There's actually really nothing trickling across the road at the moment. All right, we have maybe another 10 miles to go. Everyone, check out this section of road here. We're about to drive through a tunnel of trees. This is really cool. We're kicking up a ton of dust on this section of road. It's really dry out. It's really dark in here with all the cedar trees. Oh, there's horse poop there. People have been riding horses down here. Alrighty everyone, we made it to the section of road where we're gonna go by foot. Here's an overgrown trail. You see some people plow down here with ATVs, but we're not gonna plow through this anymore, so we're just gonna find a spot to pull over here on the edge, and we're gonna walk on foot. Alright everyone, we got our big packs. About 50 pounds a piece. It's what we need for overnight. And you might notice we're wearing Crocs. That's because we're going to be walking down the river for quite a while. All right, everyone, let's head on out to the river. All right, everyone, a couple minutes down the trail. We've gone off the ATV trail, but you can see somebody's been bringing their ATV through this anyways. Making our way down to the river, which is very shallow this time of year. All right, everyone, this area has a lot of pricker bushes, and these trees here, you can tell were actually cut down on purpose by the Parks Department to keep people from driving the ATVs into the river. Look at this massive frog. That's a giant leopard frog. Take a look at that. Boom. And it's out of here. All right, everyone, the water's actually low enough now that it's summer that we can walk down it quite a bit to our campsite. We'll be there in maybe a half an hour. It'll get us far out in the wilderness, away from anything, far away from the ATV trail. Not many people are using it anyways. We didn't pass any single person while driving, but now we're gonna get further out there. It's been really hot out for the last couple of weeks, including today. Tomorrow we're gonna wake up and the high temperature is only gonna be room temperature, 72 degrees. If you look over here on these rocks, you can see the normal flow rate is almost 2 feet higher. It's running nice and low now. The water is very, very warm. The water will feel even warmer tomorrow because it's been heating up in the sun all this time, and tomorrow with the air being cooler, the water will feel even warmer. Notice over to the right, there's lots of flat beaches, just solid panels of rock that we're walking on. Over here, there's some boulders, but the bottom is flat like concrete. It's all one big rock slab. And what is that? Is that a turtle way up there? Yeah, look, there's a turtle way up there. I wonder how close it'll let us get before it jumps in. Hey, look at this square piece of wood here. I mentioned on the way in, the ATV trail used to be a train track, and I believe these here are some train rails. At least this one is. Underwater without oxygen, it's unable to rot. And take a look at these nice cedar trees. Nice shady spot. If we look up here, it's an old beaver lodge in there. Check that out. The turtle was sitting over here on this slime around a rock. It jumped in. It didn't let us get close to it at all. Already a little bit sore. Haven't carried a backpack like this in about 10 years. I usually go camping these days in the winter, pulling a sled across the ice when this stuff is all frozen. But I'll build back up to it for an even longer backpack later in the year. The rocks in this area are pretty slippery. It's too deep to be out there where it's flat at the moment. All right, everyone, it started getting a little too deep there, so the woods is a bit more open in this area, so we're just gonna walk through the woods for the next 20 minutes or so. It's a bit easier than walking through the murky areas of the river. Look at that, everyone. Oh, jumping spider. All right, everyone, this is a lot better than walking through the river the whole way. We had some pricker bushes and some very thorny trees we had to cut through, but now the woods is pretty open and my legs are a little bit scraped up, but it's okay. There may have actually been some stinging nettles back there next to the river. Oop. Tree grabbed me. Got some woodpecker holes and some interesting mushrooms down there growing. Look at this rock. Doesn't it kind of look like a face yelling? All right, everyone, after a detour through the woods, we're coming back down to the river, avoiding that whole swampy section of it. This river is really cool because it has tons of islands all over it too. back to the area where it's all a big sheet of flat rocks. Slow moving river. But then there's this little opening right here. Some of the river is leaving and it's flowing off into the woods by itself. Found this only a day ago, and it was a perfect spot to go camping while it's hot out. The water's flowing down here into this channel really slow. So once you get in here, the water is noticeably a lot warmer than back there. And other than this right here, you wouldn't even know that this was trickling. Got just a really slow trickle right here. Now we have another 15-minute walk down this channel, and there's a nice camping area. You see over here, when the river does flood during storms, it can get up to 3 feet higher. Look at the debris stuck in that tree. And you can also tell that tree was cut down by beavers, and this is all suckers growing back off of it. Got a nice breeze on a hot day. Might be some thunderstorms later on in the afternoon. Wow, look at this, everyone. There are so many leopard frogs. Not as big as that one from earlier, but look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them right there. And they're all along the riverbank if we zoom in. Look at that. There's frogs everywhere. Look at this, everyone. This is raccoon poop, but what I'm pointing out is they've been eating crayfish. Look at that, they eat the shell and everything. There's a lot of crayfish in these waters if you flip over rocks. So maybe that would be a good addition to our dinner. We could eat some of the crayfish, and hopefully this breeze goes away so we could safely have a little cooking fire out here. I love these frogs. These leopard frogs are extremely pretty looking. All right, so got some more curves. It's not moving fast here, so the water's extremely warm, good to play in. It looks like when the water gets really high, this might connect back to the main river, but it's just a dead end, and it's hot, like a hot tub in here. It's shallow, full sun. Yeah, look how far down this goes. We got quite the walk down there. Look at the riverbed in this area. It's got all these holes in it. Is that like water pockets when this lava was super heated? Other areas are completely flat. But what is this? There's a skeleton in the water with little claws. Oh, I think it's a squirrel. Look at the tail. Here's another area. People found a way to get ATVs in here anyways. So there's lots of raccoon poops with crayfish noticeably in it. There's lots of seagulls around here. Lots of crayfish shells littering the banks. All the animals come here to go hunting. So maybe later we'll flip over some of these rocks and be able to find some crayfish. Let's see. This water stirs up very easily. There's a snail under there. Yeah, see, it stirs up because there's a lot of light sediment since there's no moving water here. Nice dark area full of cedar trees. Right here is another little rocky area with a little trickle going over the top into another pool. There's some kind of herb growing out here. At first I picked it thinking it was mint. And yeah, I think it's chocolate mint. There's a plant out here that actually smells like chocolate mint. Oh, there's a crow, or is that a vulture? What we got up there? Lost him. Oh, there he is above the tree again. No, he flew away. There's a lot of frogs here. 1, 2, 3. Look at them all. Oh, there's 4 of them. And then there's a really, really big one right there. Oh, there's 2 more right there. Take a look at that. That's cute. Two more. They're all over the place. Yep, you see right here, we got a little trickle of water. And now we're gonna walk through another pool. There's also little fish down here all over the place. All right, everyone, this is the deepest pool yet. It's a little bit over our knees. It's a nice spot to just swim, sit here with all the frogs, and we've made it to the campsite. This is a really cool campsite. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you what it has to offer. There's lots of rocks around here, around the edges. Very easy to flip over, find crayfish. This one actually looks like it was just flipped. That's probably the one we found a bunch of crayfish underneath yesterday. But the most interesting part is the water now is getting more and more shallow. You can tell during storms it goes blasting through here when it's a bunch higher. But at the moment, the entire river is going down these holes. Right here, you see there's kind of a whirlpool going into a crack. But over here is a better example. It's all disappearing into the crack. And I'm noticing this is actually flowing a little bit more than yesterday, but it's all disappearing down into these deep voids. If it was times a higher flow, it would be going through here, but there's no more river. I walked down here yesterday another 20 minutes. It's just bone dry. The whole trickle just goes down into little caves. And there are actually some caves I want to bring you guys inside, especially since I have a good place to take a bath. They're very tight caves with a lot of mud. Perfect fire pit. No one's been camping here all year, not since the spring floods, because you see the river washed away all the ash when this area went underwater. We have a handsaw. We have tons of dry kindling here, grass clumps that the river left behind, a bunch of logs we can cut up, burn. We walk through here, there's even more stuff to burn. And the good area, it's a good area because nothing's actually wet. There's really no forest fire issue. And now that we came down here, there's really no wind. It was only windy in the wide open river area. All right, so there's a fire pit, nice big warm swimming hole, which is cool. This area has all these little holes and stuff. You'd have to have some pretty thick sleeping pads to not feel that. So we just walk through here. Oh, really big leopard frog, look at that. If I was able to pick that up, which I know I'm probably not going to be able to catch it, it's like it would fill up the whole palm of my hand. Oh, gone. But back here it gets pretty mossy. Some shelter from the wind. Here's a page of a book. I'll zoom in if anyone wants to take a quick look at whatever that might be. But right here is a nice flat spot. Doesn't have all those little holes. Flattish spot. We're gonna set up a 3-person tent. Maybe over there it might be flat too. But when this place goes underwater, all these little crevices here, like you can go walking down inside this cave quite a ways. I'll show you what's in there in a little while. Within a minute from the camping site, look, there's so much dead trees and stuff we can just easily break and walk it back to the fire pit. A lot of good stuff to burn here. I'm surprised more people don't use that campsite, but it was probably made by someone local and just no one else knows about this place. Maybe right here it'll be even better to set up the tent because it's wider. I'm sure these holes have mosquitoes in them, although I recall yesterday these didn't have water in them. It went up a little bit, the water table. It's gonna rain a little bit tonight, but nothing that should flood us out. All right, everyone, it's time to take our packs off. Getting a little sore, but not that bad. I'm getting used to it already from the half-hour walk. Got our sleeping pads. We have a tarp that we'll put down underneath it, just so we don't rip the tent on the rock. Also, if it rains, it'll maybe protect us a little bit. But I've never actually camped on rock. I've only camped on ground where it absorbs the water around it. So maybe it'll get damp. It'll be an experiment. We're supposed to have a few thunderstorms this afternoon. All right, wow, that time lapse was only 12 minutes, so it probably only took like 8 minutes to set up a tent that we never set up before, start to finish. So we can use that box there as kindling to start the fire up, and that means the tent will be a little smaller. Well, you'll never get it as small as the factory, but it'll be round instead of square, which is easier to carry. Got a snorkel, waterproof phone cases. Over here, there's incense, bug sprays, pot for cooking stuff. Got some soups, some fruit, some oysters. Again, we'll try to collect some crayfish for dinner. Got a bunch of headlamps. In here's toothpaste, toothbrushes, earplugs because she snores a lot. And got some water bottles, although we'll try to boil and replenish those with the river water over there. In here, up top, I have extra batteries, extra camera lights. The phone right here actually is connected to service. The one I'm recording with is for camera only. And in the back right here, stuffed in here, got giant camera lights. These are dive lamps for underwater. Got a pillow crammed in there, an extra pair of clothes, a blanket. And right here's the saw, so we can cut up some of those trees and have a fire. All right, check this out. We have our little thermometer. It's reading 104 degrees, but this rock is hot. It's been sitting in the sun all day. So we will take a look at this again in a minute. Let's place it in the shade on top of this pan, not on the rock.
I brought soup, towel, some bedding, plates for food, eggs.
2 of them are courtesy of Cheeks. All right, we're collecting some eggs now for camping. So over here in this nesting box, there is 2 darker brown eggs and 1 lighter one. I know the darker ones are from Cheek. Cheeks lays an egg every single day for us. She's the best layer at the moment. Don't know who the other egg's from, but thank you for this butt nugget breakfast. Right here inside the tent, we got the yoga mats spread out. We'll probably still feel the rock a little bit, but it's better than nothing. We're gonna put down a blanket over that, and then we have another blanket to sleep with. All right, everyone, since it's very hot out, we're just gonna sleep with this top sheet, and we're gonna share a pillow so we don't have to carry as much in here. And now, because it's a little breezy, we're gonna put our heavy packs in here since we can't stake down to rock, just to hopefully not have the tent blow away. All right, everyone, and this has been up off the hot rocks for a while, and that's about our actual temp, because remember, coming in, I was saying it was 88 degrees. Now we're reading about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, so I definitely believe that. It's definitely getting hotter as the day goes on. This feels like a heat pad or a heat rock in a reptile cage combined with the warm day. It's very hot here, so we'll have to wait for the sun to go down for that to be perfect. Now we'll use this thing as a base of the campfire. I'll start collecting some kindling. Around here, there's not as much around. This area definitely sometimes floods, but over there where the current is, I'm gonna collect all the clumps of grass wrapped around all the trees from the storm surge. That'll be good kindling. And then I can break a bunch of these small branches, saw up some bigger logs. There might be a thunderstorm later, but if I get a fire going, it won't put it out, hopefully. There's not much of a wind down there. We'll just try to keep the fire low. Saw goes through that real good. You see this stuff here? This is completely dry. It's just grass. Really good base kindling that the river put here. Gonna collect a whole bunch of that. Lots of spiders mixed into it too. Hopefully it doesn't rain too much. This stuff is gonna burn real good as it is. Look at that, it's so dry, just breaks. Wow, it's actually splitting. Just by dropping it, it's splitting. All right, everyone. The firewood is so abundant here. There's so much within sight. I don't think I need to go collecting too much more right now. We're gonna wait until it gets cooler. It's only 4 in the afternoon, maybe when it starts getting dusk, because all this rock everywhere makes it feel like a desert. Going back to the campsite. Gotta be careful at night walking around these places. This crevice here is like 3 feet deep, over 2 feet wide. Another deep crevice. It's cool. Hopefully we don't have raccoons coming to visit us tonight. We'll burn all our cans to make sure nothing smells like food. I'm gonna get my really big flashlight now. Before it gets dark, I want to take you in the little cave around here. Show you what's in there. Then I'm gonna cool off in the river because I'm sure I'm gonna get really muddy in this cave. So the river looks a little deeper than it was a couple of days ago or a day ago, but it's okay. We're gonna look down here in this cave. I didn't have much of a view a few days ago, but look how cool this is. Look at this. Oh wow, it's like air conditioning in here. That's so cool. Look at this cave. Hopefully there's nothing else in here with me. Ooh. It is so tight in here. I walked through this little cave. This goes to the same spot. This is like a little pillar in the middle. I walked down here the other day. There's raccoon tracks. The walls, you see that? How it's jagged? That's not just mud. They're actually that jagged. It's like sandpaper. When I was swimming around here the other day, when I found this camping spot, I didn't have a shirt on. I went walking through this crevice and got scraped up pretty bad. I didn't really feel it. I just saw it on my back later on. See? Here's that other way. Here's down here. Look at this. When the river floods, water's gushing through here. See that? Oh. Oh. It's trickling water. Thought something was coming. See this way? It just goes to a dead end. The tops of these cracks are blocked with rocks, probably thrown here by the river hundreds of years ago. And there's a forest growing above us. Let's go down here again. Got another fork. It's like an underground maze. Look at this. There's trees or little plants here struggling for life. Barely any sunlight down here. But this floods during the day. I mean, during the spring thaw. Look at this, another dead end. Looks like something was actually sleeping there. Look at that. Looks like a bed or something, a nest. Look at a big spider up by the ceiling. It's a black widow right there. So you call a northern black widow. Look at all these crazy caves though. Look at this, there's vines hanging in here with buds. Spider nests everywhere. We're not gonna go any further because look how sketchy that looks. That rock right there, I'd have to crawl underneath that, like completely flat, wiggle like a worm underneath it, and it's sketchy. Look, it's holding on by a hair from falling, a few 100-pound rock. But if we really zoom down there, there's a trickle of water. Like this joins up with another hallway or something, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, there's lots of caves like this around here. Most of them I can't fit in. And this one can't get out of here in a hurry. Like right now I'm trying to get out of here as fast as I can. Here, can you see me? Look how tight this is in here. I'm waddling like a duck, and I honestly, because I have to keep my legs straight, not out. My knees straight, not out. Are they gonna scrape against the walls? I feel like sandpaper, and the floor is slippery mud. Trying to rush out of this crevice. That's how you get cut up. And I'm back out. Worked up a sweat in there too. I'm gonna keep my big flashlight on me because there's another cave I want to show you where I suspect that comes out. Let's take a little walk over here. Squishy mud in my Crocs. Yeah, right over here. More crevices. Like if we come right here, see this trickling water? This is what we were hearing down in the cave. But see, it's just too tight. All these cavities at this point to get inside. But if I walk down here a little ways, is this poison sumac? Look at this. This is where the water's coming out. I'm gonna try to get in here to show you guys this. Look at this. I gotta get down here carefully. This is like really sharp rocks. See it just coming out of here? Lots of grapevines. Some pretty flowers. I'm getting hung up a little bit. Looks like raccoons or something been digging here in the mud. These grapevines are strong. Getting tangled. But look at this. Look at this cave. And look at that. That's muskrat poop with some mold on it. Muskrats have been in here. Look how cool this cave is. Wow. Here's where we just were, looking in. That is so cool. Lots of spiders. All right, look. Here's that rock. I was right. Here's that rock I didn't want to go underneath. It was kind of sketchy. Here's another tunnel. A really big fishing spider. They're skittish. They'll sometimes just drop on you. You get too close to them. All right. I'm not going down this one. Look how tight that is. I could literally get stuck if I tried going down there. And see the walls? Look. You aim the light at that. This stuff is hard. That's not mud. That's what the rock here looks like. Sharp and smooth at the same time. Oh wow, look at all the muskrat poop covered in mold. All right, we're gonna get out of here now, but this is cool. I'm gonna spin the camera around. Take a look at this. Look how cool this is behind me. And time to get out of here now. This one here, that looks like it was cut by beavers. All the damage you see right there on that tree. That was a cool cave explorer. Wow. Back up top. I'm out of breath. Let's go swimming. In the daytime, in these crystal clear waters, the things like crayfish are all hiding. But once it becomes nighttime and predators, seagulls can't see them, they'll be coming out and walking around, and you'll be able to spot them really easily with a flashlight. They're hiding in all these little crevices, but they'll be out at night. This water's so clear. There was a bunch right here yesterday under this rock. Let's see if we can flip it again. Maybe they went back underneath the overturned rock. I don't see anything. It's a bit stirred up. There's a lot of silt. That's why it's probably better to wait until at night when they're already walking around. Oh yes, there was definitely one right there, but you can't really see anything with it all stirred up. Oh, wait, it's clearing. Is anybody still out and about? Yep. One just went underneath here. Yeah, but that one's too small to eat. Look at that. It's miniature. All right, I just got my waterproof phone case on so we can go have some fun in the river. Maybe we'll backtrack to the raging part of the river. I was just looking at the area a little bit on Google Maps, and on Google Maps, I don't know when that footage of the sky was taken because this is all underwater in that footage. But it looks like it hasn't been flooded in quite a while. None of the grass is pushed over, so definitely at least the spring thaw. So months ago this was underwater potentially. Definitely within the last year because none of the grass piles are decomposed yet. On satellite maps, it doesn't go into the ground here and disappear. This is all underwater, deep. I want to see if I can do some rock flipping with the waterproof case on. Those ones don't have a big enough cavity for the crayfish to be hiding, but maybe this one does. Or maybe this one. I think we'll have good luck with the crayfish at night once they're out walking about and not hiding. Got some crayfish? Let me zoom in on it. Alright, I got it to focus. Yeah, that thing is tiny. Miniature.
I wonder if pinches will hurt.
Does it hurt when it pinches you? Can it even pinch you at that size?
No.
No. Here's where we're swimming. Here is the fire pit, just for a point of reference. Back here, I was going over here to look for some firewood, and look what we got here, just sleeping in the daylight. It shouldn't bother us if we don't go near it, but got a porcupine right there, and in my experience, whether it's day or night, those things will start walking towards you to show dominance, and they won't chase you, but they'll start walking towards you with their quills up. Look at them right there. I think I'm waking them up. Oh, you hear that? There's a frog down in these cracks. Look at all the trickling water. So I'm a good maybe at least 25 feet from them. I don't want to get any closer. But I know there's been many times those things have been in the road and they walk up to my truck. They don't run away. In fact, if I step out of the vehicle to try to make them get out of the road so it doesn't get hit, it starts walking towards you with its quills up. So, yeah, this thing's sleeping here really close. It's probably here for the same reason the raccoons and everyone else are here. There's a lot of food in the water. Yeah, that thing's like half sleeping. I don't even know if it's aware I'm here. It's just moving around in its sleep. All right, we're just gonna avoid that area where it's sleeping and start collecting firewood over here instead. All right, everyone, in only about a half an hour, I was able to collect a lot of driftwood. All this stuff here gets sent down here by the river, and it gets trapped in this spot because there's too many bushes when it floods. It just leaves all this driftwood, which is super dried out behind. And the concerning thing is now, I went over there to grab some more wood just a moment ago, and we have no idea where the porcupine is. Hopefully we were making too much noise and it just left. Hopefully it's not hiding in one of these bushes where I'm scavenging. All right, everyone, we just came out of there. That's where our campsite is, about 20 minutes down that little crevice. So we're back out to the main river and we're gonna do some swimming. We're gonna go to a deeper area. The water's actually super warm, and there's a lot of deep cracks and crevices. Look at this. Whew. This is cool. Just a bunch of islands. All right, everyone. We just did a little bit of swimming in the stagnant part of the river, which is deep enough you can't touch the bottom. Sun is starting to set. It's around 7 o'clock. We're gonna go and walk back to camp. 20-minute walk. Just like that little cave I was showing you earlier, all these rocks are very jagged. See, swimming, it's very easy to cut yourself, especially in the areas where the current is strong enough to just drag you into jagged stuff. This water today feels like bath water. It's really nice. You see this right here, the cattails. This is what you call a bog. It's a floating piece of land that sometimes gets detached from swamps. There's another one over there. These things floated over here and got stranded back when the river was flooding. All right, everyone. We just made it back to camp. It'll be completely dark in about a half an hour. Time to start a fire. It didn't rain at the time it's supposed to. There's still a chance for an hour or two, but maybe we'll get lucky and it'll stay dry. Hear that? As soon as I said that, I hear thunder. Maybe get the fire going now, so if it does start raining, maybe it won't go out. All right, everyone, it's time to set up the campfire. Got a little can opener here, and the temperature outside right now is 77 degrees Fahrenheit, about 25 degrees Celsius. It's getting cool fast, and we got to get the fire going before it starts raining. All right, everyone, we're gonna try to light it up with all that dry grass. That's why we got to get it going before it starts raining. This should go up fast. This is dry. And there's more of it I can grab before it starts pouring. Yeah, that's already catching good. We'll light up this side a little bit, although I don't think it needs it. Wow, that started up really fast, and this is one of the cleanest campfires ever. Look, there's always smoke when you start a campfire, but everything here is so dry because it's like a miniature desert right here. Everything's just baking on these rocks. Gonna let that settle down a little bit. That's already a beautifully roaring fire, and wow, 3 minutes ago it wasn't even going. Nice. All right, everyone, I can still hear a little bit of thunder. The sun is setting, nice and still. The wind completely went away. Still hoping it doesn't rain, but at least if it does start raining, that's a roaring fire and it's not going to be going out now. Look at that. Beautiful spot. Whoop. That was vegetable oil in the clams. All right, everyone. Just grabbing some of the river water. We're gonna try to boil it and make some hard-boiled eggs. And now we're gonna go ahead and put the water on the edge of the fire. It's so hot I can't stay there more than a few seconds. That'll start boiling eventually. All right, now while we're waiting for that, time to have some soup and some oysters.
Should have put them in earlier, but it's okay.
Boils a lot faster than I thought it would. And it just started moderately raining after sprinkling for the past 10 minutes. But the sky doesn't look very dark, so I don't think the rain is gonna keep on going. And the thunder was pretty loud, and you can hear the storm has gone away now at the moment. All right, everyone, the fire's going big now. We put some big pieces over it. The fire will burn them in half, then we can throw the rest of them in. Camera's actually pretty hot. It's a nice hot burning fire. There's enough big logs we can keep feeding them in like this literally all night if we wanted to. So no need to collect any more. As far as rain, it never rained long enough or enough to even wet that cardboard box. It just fizzled out, then it got bright again. And when I was over here getting some more firewood, I found the porcupine again. It's now awake and walking around. We'll be careful if we go look at that. This is a beautiful scene. Look at that. I gotta take a picture of that. So pretty here. Let's go see if we can find that porcupine before it gets dark. Lots of frogs walking around. Just gotta keep my eyes peeled. Got trickling water down in these deep cracks. It was sleeping over here earlier, but it was right here about 20 minutes ago, walking around these rocks. All these crevices, see, if we zoom in down there, it's a good flow of water. And it looks like a whole nother cave that we might be able to explore. Porcupine's not very big, so gotta watch down inside all these crevices. Don't know where it could be. I'm not gonna, oh wait, I found it. There he is, look. This is the first time I've ever seen a porcupine in the wild that is walking away. Usually they'll false charge. Not really charge, but they'll walk towards you to assert dominance with their quills all the way up. But this one doesn't want to mess with me today. And it's good to see that it's walking away from the campsite. Now it's kind of a little bit different. It's going down in these bushes, unfortunately, towards the water. It's hiding down in a crevice. Oh. Alright, good. This one isn't like other ones that I've seen in the past that actually are trying to get to you. This one's not even false charging, which is good. Don't really have to worry, I guess, running into that guy. Now, where did I just see that really biggish cave? Right here. Let me get down in here for a moment. Have ourselves a look. Yeah, it's another biggish cave. Look at this. Just like the other one. It's pretty big in there. And I don't want to go in there and run into some creature. This one's actually bigger than that first one. More space. Really cool. The sky's getting beautiful. Look at that. Picture perfect sky. Nice. Campfire. Looking good. You think the eggs are ready yet? I found the porcupine. He wants nothing to do with us. I followed it a little bit and it's just walking away from the campsite, which is good. Wow, this fire got real hot. Look at those coals in there. This is the best campfire I've ever had. Didn't even need cardboard to get it going. It just up real fast. All right, everyone, the eggs are done. I just threw a piece of wood in and it shifted around. Whole pot accidentally fell into the fire, but on the bright side, they're fully cooked. I was able to grab the pot out of the fire real quick with this, and this one I stuck the knife in to be able to get it out, and we didn't lose any eggs. That's the good news. Now let them cool for a bit in cold water, and then time to eat. All right, so now we placed it over here, sitting in the cold water to cool it down without actually touching the water, although this water looks pretty clean. What you're seeing is just ash from the fire on the inside there. It's sanitized. Maybe in 10 minutes it'll be time to eat that. Now it's time to readjust the fire. You see what shifted around. Some of the pieces fell out. Now it's time to throw them in. Really hot?
Really hot, but it's good. Cooked perfectly.
I'm gonna wait for mine to cool. It's almost completely dark. The sky cleared up, no more clouds. We can hear nothing but crickets and trickling water. Over here, I'm observing when we got here, there was water trickling over this. Now if you look at it, it's just about dried up and it's going down the hole like I described at the beginning of the video. It's weird. Usually water, groundwater and stuff starts trickling more at night, but this is doing the opposite. And over here, see this log that's sticking out of the fire? It combusted. There was a bunch of ants evacuating that a couple minutes ago. So I'm just waiting for these to burn in half so I can completely throw them in the fire. then we can walk a little ways down this channel and get crayfish to eat. But we want to make sure the fire isn't going to fall out while we're gone. We're going to let this burn down for maybe another hour or so. All right, everyone, I'm going to eat some eggs now. Look at that, it's nice and jiggly in there, like jello. Now I'm going to just break the shell off. Something might eat this for calcium, but I don't think so. There's so many shells all around here. There's even eggshells here. Don't know what kind of egg it is. You want the other egg?
No. I'm just pouring myself in water. See the unclog.
You want bug spray?
Yeah.
At this moment, it looks like we're gonna start needing bug spray. And I'm eating my egg right now. Looking good.
Pouring some water for the crayfish. This where it would not sing.
Going back to the tent before it's too dark to see. We're gonna get the camera lights out here. Let's do a quick temperature check. I put the thermometer away from the fire so it'll be accurate. We're now down to about 71 degrees Fahrenheit or about 22 degrees Celsius. And over here we have I'm gonna drag this log back to the fire afterwards and we can burn it. See, this is what it looks like to my eyes. This is exactly how it looks. Not completely dark yet. And the camera can add light if I'm zoomed in a little. Walking around here at night, we gotta be careful. It's a lot of deep, scary crevices. And porcupine somewhere. Alright, I got the super big 100,000 lumen flashlight, powerful dive lamps, and headlamps. There's a whole bunch more headlamps in case these ones die, but these ones can go for like 3 or 4 hours straight on high. I love those things. The really big one on high can only go like 20 minutes, or on low it can go like 12 hours. Those ones there also die in like a half hour, a little bit longer. But they're extremely bright and can light up an entire area. This fire is even bright. Lights up this whole little space we got here. Pretty soon, once the sky is completely dark, we'll head on out and look for some crayfish to eat. Listen to that. Complete silence, just crickets. Sounds nice out here. Alright everyone, we're gonna start going to look for crayfish. Big light on. Boom. It's like daytime again with this light. So right now we started boiling water. It's already starting to boil, but we're gonna leave that here as we walk around for a little bit to collect some crayfish. Look at that. There's a really big spider right there. That's a fishing spider. Eats little aquatic things, water skimmers. That spider right there can actually run on water. So now we're off to look for some crayfish. Now that it's nighttime, they'll be out and about in these pools, coming out from under the rocks. Just like in the daytime, there's a lot of frogs. the shallow waters, there's what we call creek trout. They only get about 5 inches long. These little teeny fish. Basically a bait fish. And look over here. We spotted our first crayfish of the night. See it? But that one is much too small to catch. If it was a survival situation, of course, it would keep you alive. You could just eat its shell and everything. Unlike a lobster, crayfish shells are soft. You can actually crunch those in your mouth. Even the full-size ones, you can crunch it right in your mouth and eat it. It's just extra calcium. Doesn't taste as good though. When I was eating the claws on a crayfish about a month ago, I ate the whole claw since it wasn't easy to open it or even worth it for what was inside. And no problem biting into it, it just leaves an algae taste, in my opinion. So when we find some bigger ones, we'll show them as we're catching them. Don't see any big ones yet. Yeah, this is perfect. Look at this area right here. Got the fire in the background, and we can walk quite a distance and still be able to look back here at the fire. See all these little flies? They're actually a good thing because they scare the mosquitoes away as they crash into them. Look at that, we got Froggy over there. And in this area, I'm seeing a whole ton of crayfish, but they're all babies. There's one right there. And I guess, oh, there's another one right there. They all kind of started hiding, I guess, quickly as they see you coming. You see there's a lot of water beetles, and you see all these tiny little things flying around. They don't bite, but they crash into your eyeballs, and you accidentally crushing them with your eyelid. You accidentally inhale them, but it's a lot better than being bit by the mosquitoes. There's so many of these flies just around that the mosquitoes won't go near you because these little guys keep crashing into the mosquitoes. It's quite cool. There's our campfire right around the corner. See it glowing down there. We got a bigger fish right here. Does anyone know what that could be? Doesn't really have much fear of me. Oh, there it goes. Boom. I see him again. Over here we got another pretty big fish. That one's like 10 inches long. Does anyone know what that is?
Ooh, look at that frog.
It's a big one.
I'll try to get it. Big man. Okay.
All right, everyone. We made it back out to wide open water on the river. We're gonna look around here for maybe some crayfish, because all the ones we saw back in that area, the little cutoff, was just teeny little ones. Now we're back out to the river. We've got a good flow here. We're gonna walk to a more stagnant area because they wouldn't like this flow. Got a lot of fish around us just jumping right out of the water. Down in the crevices. Look at all the fishies. Still kind of moving too fast. Maybe along the edges there could be some crayfish. then again, there's not many rocks where they'd be hiding in the daytime. And you maybe hear that in the background. There's a very grumpy seagull that we woke up. Take a look at the amount of water skimmers right here. Go over here, they're everywhere, being attracted over by the light. Water skimmers eat mosquitoes, so they're a good addition to have following us around. Yeah, that one's big enough to keep.
Do you have the bag?
Yep, I got it. Hands are just kind of full. Put it on there. Yep, we got 2 of them now. It's under that rock right there. That's right there, right there.
Where?
See it right there? Nice, that's a big one. It doesn't have eggs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. In the bag.
Shit, does it pinch you?
Take a look at this weird tree. I like it. All right, everyone, we're gonna start walking back to camp. We've been out here for about a half an hour catching things. We've got a good amount of crayfish to fill our little pot. We found a clam, you can see it down there. We're gonna eat that. And there's also a tiny little pumpkin seed fish that hopped out of the water onto the land. I've always heard pumpkin seeds taste bad, but we're gonna see. We're gonna eat that teeny little one. All right, everyone. We made it back to camp. Been gone about a half hour, a little more maybe. The fire is definitely still hot. We can throw more wood on it, but we definitely can't see any flames. Driftwood burns hot, but it doesn't burn very long. It's very dry. Still very hot. Our water only went down about 1 inch. We can top that off before we cook some crayfish. We can get this thing going really quick. All right, everyone. Less than 5 minutes later, we got the fire raging. Just give it a little bit and that water will be boiling again. Then we can have some crayfish and a clam and a teeny fish. The sound of the crickets out here is beautiful.
I descaled the fish, and then once the fire dies down, I'm gonna roast it. I want to roast it now. It's too hot. Ooh. Yeah. Maybe I should taste good. Ah! No! Fish! I'll wash it off.
We got the stove, and look what's inside the oven.
I think the fish is cooked.
Yeah, it
Eyes
actually
are a
smells
bit-
good.
It's okay.
It smells good.
Smells good. Whoops. Tastes like fish.
All right, everyone, while we're still waiting for that little pot to boil, we're gonna go take a bath in the river real quick, get the bug spray off, then we're gonna come back here. I think there's enough smoke and stuff that'll keep the mosquitoes away, and we got a bunch of incense that we can put around the campsite since it's not very windy. That'll help keep the mosquitoes away too. All right, everyone, we got this thing going nice. And if I zoom in, you can see the pot of water is now boiling. So we're gonna start cooking the crayfish and that one clam. Take a look inside here. Look at that. All the crayfish and the clam. All right, let's go and dump them in nice and fast. Try to dump them in nice and fast without this thing. It's the only bag we could find at the moment without it melting. I might just throw them in real quick one at a time. Hopefully I don't get pinched. This is not a good idea. I'm gonna maybe put them on a plate. See, we drop these plates. I'm gonna put them on a plate real quick and then throw them in. That's too hot to get near. Wait a second, what am I thinking? We have a wet towel right here. I'll just take it off the stove for a minute. Throw them on in. Ah, this guy's trying to get away. All right, 5 minutes later, that will be ready to eat. And it is exactly 11 o'clock, 11:05, we'll be eating. All right, everyone, we let it cook a few minutes extra. And look at that, the clam actually opened up. That's cooked, definitely. Let's get it off. Yummy. All right, everyone, here's a close-up look at the crayfish, all cooked. Turns red just like a lobster. And the clam got really tiny as it cooked. Now they're just out cooling for a few minutes. Earlier when I was showing myself all these scratches, this one right here actually left quite a big bump, if you can see that. So right now I'm just cleaning it up with a bunch of alcohol wipes and dry it off and put a few bandages over it. Alright. Just because it seems to be a deep wound and it's still oozing out a little bit of blood, I'm putting a little pressure on it. See? Got a good amount of. And that right there, that's a piece of barbed wire that was attached to one of the logs we threw in. Alright, these should be nice and cooled now. Alright, everyone, it's time to eat the crayfish. See right here, just like a lobster. Most of the meat is right there in the tail. See, just suck it right out like a shrimp. Throw the rest of it in the fire so we don't attract some raccoons. And see the claws. Sometimes you can break them open and suck out the meat. See, got it open. There's a little bit of meat there inside the claw. You can squeeze it a little too. A little more meat. See that? Squeeze the claw, comes right on out. Or you could just take the whole claw, eat the whole claw like this. It's kind of crunchy. It's not even that sharp like you would think it is. Just extra calcium. You can eat more of it out of here. This is the grosser part with the stomach. Still some meat in there. Like that. try the clam?
Yep.
How was it?
No flavor. Bit gummy. But it's okay.
I'll throw it in the fire, or you keeping that?
Oh, you can throw that in the fire.
All right, everyone, and this right here is some nighttime snacks. We got to open them up, and you won't believe what I just found here on the ground. This big guy right here escaped the bag. So, I guess it's going to be returned to the water. This guy got lucky. Just walk him out into the deep area. Woo! Check this out. I just opened up this can here and see it says cocktail. So I expected to find, see, pear, peach, pineapple, grape, cherry. I expected to find a fruit cocktail. I open it up and look what's inside. They put the wrong label or put it in the wrong can. Look at this. It's just, I think, pear. This is the fastest way to dry your laundry. That already was a bit burnt, that towel, after using it as a pot holder in the actual fire to get the eggs out of there earlier. All right, this will die down shortly. That was the rest of the wood. We'll pick up the bottles and stuff in the morning on our way out. No more wood that we collected. And we're about to go to bed once this calms down. I just went ahead and threw that really big log in there. Temperature now is exactly 70. We'll probably drop back to about 60 by morning. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this thermometer here. All right, everyone, we're getting ready for bed. It's just after midnight, and if we look over here, the fire pit's maybe 50, 60 feet away from the tent. You can still see that in the distance, our fire burning over there. So we're gonna wait a little while, maybe another half hour for it to completely die down the flames. If we look up, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, you can see a few. There's so many stars in the night sky. I think only the bigger ones are showing up on the camera though. We'll go check on the fire again right before bed, just to make sure it dies down. Although it's been pretty wet recently. The stuff we're getting is only dry because it's driftwood and it's sitting on the beach baking. It's really easy to find spiders at night because their eyes glow back at your lights. They have very reflective eyes. Going back to the fire again. You can see it over there. Let me shut all these lights off. See it over there? I'm gonna go hang out with the fire for a little bit more before we leave it. It's still pretty big at the moment. Big millipede right here. What's that? Here we go. I haven't used a glow stick since I was little, but brought some along on this trip that my mom gave me. Got everything in here. It's really humid out right now, I'm noticing. I personally think the rock is still hot underneath us, but time for bed. The fire over there is completely out, and we'll see you in the morning. Good night, everyone. Good morning, everyone. It's now we woke up to some beautiful chirping birds. It's a bit chilly out, so I put my hoodie on, came back over here to the little stream. Now it's gonna be breakfast time. I'm gonna open up some soup. I might eat mine cold. Might heat it up because this fire is still hot enough to combust. Thanks to that really big log I threw in last night. Look at that, it's actually burning away, that big log. The fire's still very hot. Could easily combust it, but I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna probably eat some cold soup, and a couple hours we'll head out. We'll dump a whole bunch of water over these ashes. Alright everyone, I'm eating the rest of the soup so we don't have as much weight to carry back, and some crackers. Alright everyone, it's now almost 9 in the morning and the fire's still smoldering a teeny bit. We're all packed up. We'll leave in another hour or so, letting the fire cool down a little bit. We're leaving behind some eggshells. I just brushed my teeth over here, gotta put that back in my pack. There's remnants of our meal last night. The cans I'm gonna quickly get out of there with a stick. Just toss them somewhere. Those things, once they've been in a fire, are so damaged that they'll be able to rust away in just a couple of years. Not gonna leave them there because someone will step on them when the river potentially washes them away somewhere. Now that the water levels are even lower this morning, look at this little whirlpool right here, going down into one of those underground tunnels. Alright everyone, now that we've gone ahead and cleaned up the garbage in there, that's just iron at this point. Very degraded iron. Honestly, those soup cans can shatter in your hands now. Give it a couple years, it'll rust back away into the environment. Now that it's cleaned up, I'm going to quickly douse the fire. There's probably a high chance that it wouldn't start a fire, but I'm going to make sure it's cold before we leave. I'm going to take this pot. All right, everyone, the fire is extinguished. I just see a little bit of steam coming from the edges because the rocks are so hot. Even the big log we got to stop steaming. Look in there. That clamshell is pretty durable. I still see it in there flaking away. It looks like a piece of pottery. All right, time to get our backpacks on and head on out. All right, everyone, we're gonna head on out. Okay, look up there. All right, everyone, we're back on the ATV trail. Look at this. Look what a beaver did there. But the tree's slowly healing. I don't think it'll ever fully recover from that. Maybe though. All right, everyone, we made it back to the truck, and it's time to get on out of here. All right, everyone, we're back in the truck, and the windshield's pretty dirty. Every ATV that drives by on these trails is leaving a big layer of dust, and it rained yesterday, so. On the way out of here, look at this. There's a blue herring over there. Alright, everyone. I hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great